Yeah! What's happening, y'all? I am Kevin McLaughlin, and this is the Riffs and...
Did you just get a hernia doing that?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kevin McLaughlin, and this is the Riffs and Rhythms podcast, and I am here with my esteemed partner, Mr.
Paul Robertson. And tonight on Counterpoint, Kevin and I will discuss Spotify and music with our guest, Rene Rivera.
What up?
There you go. That sounded like very much like all PBS.
That was way cool.
Yeah.
So got to do it more like that. That sounded credible, actually.
like we're have a podcast people actually believe what we're saying.
I think they do.
Yeah. So if you took our podcast and put it into like a Snapchat filter and said PBS, that would have been the intro.
For sure.
For sure.
What up?
So hey, thanks for coming back, Rene.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Yeah. So definitely great having you on. Last week they're chatting about learn a little bit more about you, more in the Andrew Morris band. Some of the interesting stories are there about some of the stuff you got going on. So
yeah. Happy to be back.
So if I remember correctly, we were talking about the fact that it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how much you've learned. It doesn't matter what everybody says about you. The only thing that matters is when you show up on stage, you can either play the song or you can't.
Yep. You can either play it or you can't. And come in prepared.
So there is one story that I remember he had talked about on the podcast is the Drums and Rums podcast was how he got the Burnt Biscuit gig. Sitting in the car, the backseat of the car on some long road trip, learning the whole set list.
Oh no, that was with.
Well, I'm glad you said learning a set list.
That was with Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, Loch Ness. Okay.
So that was the original project I was with. If you heard of the interview or conversation last week, check that out. But yeah, I didn't have a kid. I didn't have anything. So it was air drummer's delight. So I'm in the car looking like I had Tourette's, and I just sat there and I charted out the tunes or whatever I needed to know. And when I went to that audition, after the first 3 songs, they were like, "Okay, so you're hired." I was like, "Okay, cool." And we started. I think they had put out like a full album. I think of 10 or 11 tracks. I forget what it was. And I learned like 9 out of the 12, 11 tracks that were there. So the majority of it, more than half, just came ready.
Very cool. So that's. I
gotta say this. For the majority of my life, in rehearsing with bands, I was always insanely jealous of the drummers who learned the song on the steering wheel on the way to the gig, on the way to the rehearsal. Right?
It's the mobile drum kit, dude.
So I got my revenge. There was a song that I had to learn. I knew what key it was in, and I literally learned it on the steering wheel on the way to the gig.
Nice.
Sang it and played it. Never even heard of it before. I played it.
There you go.
I felt vindicated.
Yeah, the steering wheel is the multi-purpose instrument.
How the hell did you strum a steering wheel?
I didn't strum a steering wheel. I just recognized the progression once I knew what key it was in.
Yeah.
And then I was able to remember the melody. And I sang. The first time I heard that song in its entirety was when I was performing it on stage, and I actually felt vindicated.
So no. See, folks, this is what it is. He says I'm the closet, guitarist or riff person, but he just explained he's the closet drummer. Okay, so there you go. Okay.
So did you just say that in order to be a drummer, you have to be in the closet and then come out?
Too soon.
I think that's what he's referring to. Not all drummers have been in the closet and
I'm making sure I'm putting a disclaimer at the bottom of this video here when I do editing, okay?
I think maybe he is still deciding on whether or not he should open that closet door.
I'm still trying to think about the green bikini mud flap girl from last week. Oh my God! So all right, so Rene, so now we're second episode here with you, hanging out on the couch with us, having a few little drinks there, kind of little guy hang going on here, chatting about music and all sorts of stuff, and his sponsorship by
Jameson, the preferred drink of the Andrew Morris Band.
You got that down pat, man.
Yeah,
Wow, he's drinking straight from the bottle here.
Rock on. Look, that's
OG
beer bottle size Jameson bottle.
Yeah.
Right now he's out Irishing you, man.
He is.
Yeah.
No, but I've got a whole cup full of Jack
Yeah, I saw what
Daniels
he
right
hooked up. He did himself right.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I don't ever have to worry about Kevin.
Bravo.
Kevin's always in control. Right? Yes.
That's the funniest
Yes.
thing you've ever said.
Yes,
I
because
think we just took care of the hilarious bits.
there you go. Yeah. See, if I thought about that in the last episode when you put me on the spot there. So yeah, we do have a few folks here in the studio here with us tonight. Besides Dino, there is on the mic here.
Hello.
So
Hey, Dino, how's your hand?
yeah,
It's actually healing a lot better, so we're good.
So we have to reiterate that
story.
Dino is noodling for
Tarpon. actually,
Tarpon.
Tarpon.
What?
It was down at Robbie's in the Keys, which I recommend is one of my favorite restaurants there. Like, besides just the interactive, like, sporting event they have on the dock, to the food and the music that they play.
So if you can stick your hand into the fish up to the elbow, you get it filleted and eaten for free?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, hey, I'd ask, hey, can I just, like, bring one up onto the thing? Like, they'd probably say, no, you can't. Like,
Did you take that fish out on a first date before you stuck your hand up in there?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it came on to me first.
Whoa!
so I was just minding my own business, like,
Yeah.
okay, and then it just came out of nowhere.
This story sounds fishy.
So your hand has been scarred for life because of that fish
Right.
interaction.
That's right. He
Pretty
showed us. He
much,
showed us in
yeah.
that last episode.
So you were feeding the fish, and it
Yeah.
So it bit the hand that feed him.
So extremely self-deprecating story to match the Robbie's and Tarpon adventure. My beautiful fiance took me down to the Keys for the first time because for as long as I've lived in Florida, I'd never gone to the Keys until this point. This is like 3 years ago, something like that. Anyway, so we go down there. She takes me to Robbie's where the Tarpons are at and all this kind of jazz. Renee is terrified of birds.
Yeah, there's a lot of pelicans.
So
in
if
that dog.
shit that flies that doesn't either have a motor or a cape, I'm gonna poop my pants because it fucking terrifies the living hell out of me.
what?
Yeah, bro. And pelicans in Renee's eyes are pterodactyls. They're freaking massive.
What?
Yeah, bro.
they're not friendly.
What do they call this phobia? Birdophobia?
Dumb shit. No, they call it scarred by your Latin grandmother who chased you around her fucking apartment with chicken feet. So,
Chicken feet?
yeah, if you want the full unedited, we'll revisit that after I tell you this
Yeah.
self-deprecating.
We'll tape that.
What
part.
did you do that made her feel as though she needed to give you the chicken foot treatment?
Nothing. Listen, it's culturally known in the Latino culture that primarily grandparents or someone down the generational trail scars somebody in the family for life, some way, somehow.
Is this just an arbitrary, obligatory scarring?
No. I mean, I've done my research with other fellow Latinos, and somebody's scarred them for life, some way, somehow.
And
Cousin, aunt,
Is
uncle,
that true?
I mean,
grandma.
in terms of me, I'm Cuban and Spanish, but like I can't recall like being scarred by any one of my family members. But I mean, there's some stories that make you embarrassed.
Oh, is that why you went for the fish? Because like you hadn't gotten your scar yet? And you needed
I mean,
them?
yeah, most likely.
Okay.
but you both them, and from what I understand, as being a white person here, is non.
You know, I'm a psychologist. I have a master's degree in that. If I set you on the couch for an hour, I'd prove to you that someone in your family lineage scarred you, whether you think it's not a scar.
Yeah, but Renee, you're the one on the couch.
No, I know. That's why I'm being honest.
lay down. Tell us. Anyway,
How did that make you feel?
No, it's good. Listen, I don't have a shy bone in my body at this point. So we get down there, and I swear, if my beautiful soon to be wife, I'm getting married May of this year. So,
Congratulations,
Thank you,
by
thank
the
you.
way.
hey, when's the bachelor party?
ooh, I don't know. Good point. I'll let you know.
We could have a bachelor party that could completely derail your wedding.
Not the freaking mud bog.
No.
No.
There'll be none of
better
that.
than that.
There'll
Jello.
be no mud involved
no.
in any way.
So anyway, we go.
No mud was harmed in
And-
the making of this bachelor party.
Yeah. Legit. So she knows my whole phobia fear or whatever. And I've gotten better over the years, but like it's still freaking
Hey,
there.
just so you know, the logo
I know.
for the Andrew Morris Band has a bird in
You
it.
can't freaking avoid the fucking things. They're the floating demons of the sky.
So you are a self-torturing person.
Yeah, I got problems. Exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy is really
So-
good. Look at the sticker.
And yeah, no.
That's why he's drinking.
So
He's self-medicating.
We go, and
That's why he
she
drinks straight from the
knew
bottle.
that Robbie's was gonna have freaking pelicans out the wazoo just to get my freaking reaction. So she goes, she gets like the fish, and we're walking, and literally, I'm like, babe, I don't know about this. I don't know. Look at all those pelicans. Like, I don't think this is gonna be a good idea. She's like, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm like literally about to shit my pants. Like, it's not cool. So I'm like, fine, don't be a bitch, Renee, go. So we walk out the door, and Dino can attest to this. So you walk in, if you guys have been there, you walk in there. The second or third freaking pier pylon that's right there, a freaking pelican literally like lands, and as soon as he lands, he sees me walking. It could be the phobia, but I'm pretty dead ass certain. Again, if she was here, she would attest to it. The motherfucker like lifted his head up and like looked at me and was like, "Sup, bitch?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
He could smell your fear.
totally.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, please. And so like I kind of scurry around, and I'm like, okay, fine. Like I can do this. And as soon as I scurry around, the freaking bastard like turns his head and then starts waddling his fat ass, following me down the freaking thing. Yeah. Shit you not. And I'm like,
That
now
pelican
I'm in
found
like,
its bitch.
oh yeah. I'm in full panic mode. We get to this section where and they I don't know if when you went last time, but they had like netting.
Oh, yeah, they still do. Yeah.
Yeah. And these fuckers are like swooping down, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And there's this little kid, and my girl is sitting there. She's rolling. I'm like, Beck, this shit ain't fucking funny, man. Like, I'm gonna die.
No, that's
It's gonna be
funny.
all your goddamn fault. She's
I
like,
wasn't
"Oh,
even there. I can tell you. It had to be funny.
So this little kid, and she's just like, go ahead, feed the tarpon, babe. I'm like, Beck, I can't do this. The birds are gonna fucking get me. And the kid's like a little 3-year-old. He's like, hi, mister. And I look at him, I'm like, bro, take these fucking fish away from me and let me get out of here. Because I couldn't handle it. Like, I freaked out and I ran down the freaking thing like a chump ass. It was so pathetic. But it's so bad, dude.
So
bad.
I'm dying to know, like, how do you deal with a chicken sandwich?
Well, my motto is the enemy of my enemy is my lunch.
Ah!
I eat more chicken than you could shake.
What about when the sandhill cranes are going like, rah, rah?
Oh, bro, it's like a dinosaur. Like I feel like I'm in that scene of Jurassic Park when the T-Rex like kicks over the
Shoot her!
Shoot eat the guy taking the shit and the
Shoot her!
Oh man, it's terrible.
Oh, I'm taking you out for a chicken sandwich, man. I can't wait.
I'll eat a chicken sandwich, but I don't want to see the preparation process for it because that's where it,
That's why he's slowly getting over it because he's eaten.
nah.
And this is our segment here, sponsored by
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Eat more chicken. Where's the cow? Where's the cow when you need
And
it?
depends for those people who are terrified of birds.
Oh my!
Oh my God, that's crazy there.
Oh, me and Renee are gonna go into it. We're gonna start a poultry farm.
What are you, chicken?
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Oh, that's funny. So
Oh, he's drinking even faster now.
yeah. So he's just thinking about it here. So if you have this fear of birds, right? So chickens as well. So can you eat tuna, like the chicken of the sea?
Yeah, I can eat tuna, but I'm like, it's a double whammy with that too, because I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh,
So I can't eat any of the good shit. So all I'm stuck is with fucking fish.
Yeah, there's
But there's some good fishes like grouper.
Can you eat a flying fish?
sorry, we're laughing at your own expense here.
Well, that's the whole thing about me telling the story. That's why I tell it because it's hilarious. I even have to laugh at it myself.
All right, so here's a tale from the road. Here's the tale from the road.
Right,
We're gonna switch to a tale from the road because this is hilarious and it goes right along. No, I won't share any names, but it was the head tech for a very famous band. Had the opportunity to work with them, and he was kind enough to share with me his massive phobia, and he had a phobia of midgets.
Oh,
And whenever he saw a midget, he passed out.
Wait, like ate it for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
he pulled his teeth out. He's like, I don't have any front teeth because I saw a midget in the mall and I passed out and broke my teeth out on the floor of the mall.
Little person, Kevin. It's called little person.
I do.
No, they're midgets. It's okay. They're midgets.
I knew someone who was like that too, and I was in a store with them. Names shall not be. It was a female, and there was a little person walking by, and she was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And I was like, "Dude, we're in public. Like, what are you doing?" Like, she couldn't even address the situation because, like, you don't want to make them. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Well, this particular episode was hilarious because the band that he worked for didn't believe him. Like all this time they're on tour, he's telling them about this. Like I can't look at.
So who'd they hire? The guys who did like Stonehenge from?
No. So what happened was they found one. They happened to be in a mall and they found one, and they snuck him up.
Oh,
And they're like,
my
and they're like, turn around. He saw it was like, ooh, lights out,
no,
face straight.
boom. Oh,
Party foul.
that's right. That's right. It's good. It's good.
Broke his teeth right out.
Oh no.
It was a surprise attack. And that is hilarious.
That's awesome.
Jeez, you got a little excited there.
No, I appreciate that.
Oh, that is. I just want you to know that even though I'm willing to make fun of you, I don't want you to leave. I don't want to leave you out there on your own.
Oh no. I'm fine. Listen, I am completely keen on the ridicule, shame, and ridiculousness of my. If you want to hear the origin story, I could do the quick version.
Definitely.
Okay, so
I'm out. I'm totally out.
I'm Puerto Rican. My grandparents, they are what you call, Dino can verify, country folk. They were jibaros, is what we call them.
Not sure, but I do know my parents have evolved more in the country, especially my father. He loves it for some reason. I mean, I love it, but like I don't know how he has gotten into.
But no, I'm not talking like now. Like I'm talking like back in the day. They were country folks, and in Puerto Rico they call the country people like jibaros, jibaros. And anyway, long story short, so they in PR they had like chickens, livestock in the back of their home, blah 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 blah. So it was like, hey, dinner time, go out there and catch that bitch and eat it. So they're now in New York. I'm around like 6, 5, 6, 6 or 7. This is how intense of a trauma this was psychologically. I would stay with them periodically over the weekends or whatever. And this one particular day, my grandparents are like, "Oh, we're gonna go down to Fordham Road to a slaughterhouse to get some fresh chickens." And it's customary in Latin culture to eat like everything, chicken feet, pig's feet, all that kind of crazy shit. So my dad would never eat it, don't know why. He loved chicken's feet, and in Spanish it's called patitas, like little feet. And so we go.
Isn't that a band?
No, it should be mariachi band. No, and so we go, and
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
there's Little Feet tribute that plays only mariachi.
No, even better. It's little people playing mariachi.
Oh gosh, that would be awesome. They could just call the band Feet.
And maybe the headline can be Brad Williams for the little comedy sketch.
give it up.
So how do you say papitas?
Give
Not
it up for
ita, no ita on
patitas.
the pop
Give it up for the patitas.
pops. So the band pops.
Orale. So we go, and they kill. I'm seeing them kill kill heads, and the chicken's walking with no heads. Doesn't do shit. I'm fine. They buy me a little toy. We go back to the freaking apartment, and I'm sitting there.
Wait, they bought you a toy?
Yeah,
Of
of
what
course.
sort?
An old school G.I. Joe, Jinx.
Oh.
Remember the one with the Hawaiian T-shirt? No, he was in the G.I. Joe '80s cartoon movie. He was amazing.
Oh, sweet.
Anyway, so we go, and I'm sitting there in
post Kung Fu Grip era.
Oh yeah. I'm sitting there, and I'm playing with the little figure, and all of a sudden, like I feel like claw-like things on the back of my head, and I'm so like enthralled with the toy, like I swat it away, and then I freaking feel it again, and then when I turn around, it's my freaking crackhead grandmother with these 2 goddamn fucking chicken feet.
Wait, what did you just call your mother?
Wait a minute.
Wait, whoa.
Swear on my
You
life.
called your abuelo a crackhead?
Yeah, because
she likes to
no,
torture
and
you
then
about
here's
birds.
where it gets even more jacked up.
Does it mean she does crack?
She didn't do crack, but like the actions were crackhead-ish. She's scratching the back of my head with these freaking chicken feet, and then out of nowhere, this 50-year-old Puerto Rican woman turns into the Latina fucking Flash and is chasing my fat ass around the fucking apartment.
With chicken feet.
With chicken feet. And
Papitas.
one would think that when you hear the shrills of a child of you would fucking stop.
Oh, it had to be way too fun.
But she was like on my ass, like trying to get me with the freaking chicken feet. And then it wasn't until my grandfather in the other side of the apartment, he's like, Gloria, deja ese niño quieto, caramba. Like, leave that freaking kid alone, god damn it. And I'm like in the fetal position, like, oh my God, fucking birds are going to kill me. And then here I am, a grown man terrified of fucking.
We're definitely going out for chicken sandwiches.
It's bad, dude. It's terrible.
We're going to go for chicken feet sandwiches.
You know whose his favorite band is Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Yeah, and we're gonna listen to Sammy Hagar's band Chicken Foot.
Chicken foot.
You know, I have a feeling now, Kevin, we're definitely not getting invited to this bachelor party now,
Probably
right?
not. No, you're good.
Oh, we got a chicken theme. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We'll have strippers at Chick-fil-A.
I did mention at the top of this segment that we could create a bachelor party that would ruin your wedding's potential forever.
No, I love her too much. I would never. She's amazing. She's just amazing.
Renee, the bachelor parties are not for the room, okay? Just so you let you know. The last bachelor party, Kevin and I were at. Well, okay. Anyway, so,
I'm moving.
Yeah.
You're not making sense here.
Yeah. The library was awesome that night.
We read classic.
Anyway, so we were supposed to be talking about a topic here, and
what's the topic?
learned about your
So,
fears and so forth.
The only thing more scary than birds for Renee is the insanely low price that we get paid when they stream our music online.
Yeah.
So I, as an artist, I did some ciphering, and I came up with 0.0013 was the amount of money that I made per stream, and I don't know if that's $0.0013 or $0.0013. I think it's $0.0013 that I make every time somebody listens to my song online.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know early on in the metrics, it was like on the penny when it was, the labels had control of terrestrial radio. I mean, let's just face it. Unfortunately, today, like terrestrial radio is almost virtually non-existent, and even whatever stations are still alive have now also implemented some kind of a streaming modicum, if you will, of a similar version of it.
We need to give some what's the word? We want to put this in perspective. And when I became a BMI artist, the reason why I became a BMI artist is because I was doing jingles. And every time one of my jingles got played on the radio, I made 23 cents. Mm-hmm. Every time one of my original songs got played on the radio, I made 17 cents.
Less than a jingle.
Yeah, less than a jingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time one of my songs gets played on Spotify, I get paid $0.0013.
See, but I would even go further, and
so that's a cent and a third.
So for those of you guys who have heard some of the stuff that Paul and I have done in the past, in his Drums and Rum, I went to school at Full Sail to get my second master's in business, concentrating on the
Music
entertainment
business.
Yeah, entertainment industry.
So you're probably far more educated on this subject than I am.
I mean, yeah, maybe not. I mean, I think it's.
Well, okay, let's ask that question then, Renee. Is how much from royalties have you received from let's say Loch Ness or whatever?
Jack shit.
Right now, again,
because it's so like infinitesimally smaller, minute,
right?
That it's almost like legally they got to cut you a check, but it's like so small. It's like you're not freaking feeling it. Like, when you look at the numbers a couple of years back when Pharrell's track "Happy" came out, that tune was streamed on Spotify 59 billion times. Billion, not million. And he got a check for $56,000. Okay, granted, it's $56,000, which for us would be a life changer. For Pharrell, it's like, $56,000. He probably didn't even feel the dent. But still, like, you still got to turn around and be like, Dude, that's a huge inequality.
59. How many billion streams? 59 billion
59
streams.
billion.
And he got $59,000. So that's 0.001.
Right. To the cent. So it's probably not even on the dollar. I think it's less than what it is. But see, but when I was at Full Sail, and my struggle with the streaming services is that they're shafting a lot of artists. But my bigger frustration is not so much, well, it's equal, is with the streaming services like Spotify. Spotify primarily because when that came out, it basically revolutionized the market. So that's still the go-to whatever. But I'm more furious at the labels for their lack of knowledge or willingness to accept the digital movement of music. And one of the hypothetical things in my mind always was, and probably, iTunes, definitely kind of started, when the iPhone became popular around 2003. But in iTunes, if you remember, you had to purchase, the album. It wasn't just like a freebie, streaming kind of
99 cents a song.
Right, 99 cents a song or
$9.99 an album.
Then you have Spotify that comes in and does what it does. If they were really smart and wanted to protect their investment, let's break that down too. Like, most people think that labels are like, oh, once you get signed, you're making millions. No, they're the bank. They're the funny money. So they're chucking out anywhere in excess from $350,000 for one single to $500,000
In marketing.
Yeah. The production expenditures, you name it. If you're the artist on that album, you better pray to God that you're banging freaking songwriter so that you're not having ghostwriters come in that you now have to pay.
Yes, because you only make the money if you're the songwriter.
100%. If you're a band, you better make sure that your band can play to the click and play the shit, or else they're going to get their session guys, and now you got a whole nother freaking umbrella you got to pay them. So you better be praying to God that you have anywhere between 1, 2, 3, or if you're like a Lady Gaga back in like the early 2000s, like 5 singles off that first debut album, where when single 3 hits, now you're getting some bank from the royalties on the penny to the dollar, And then again, it goes. Then today's artists are not making the money. And I don't really think, I think if you go back and you start looking at some of the conversations and interviews with many of the artists who are established even before us, they weren't making the money off the singles. They were making the money off the tours. Mm-hmm. But because these guys have not acquiesced to the acceptance of the digital market, they're now dipping in, they're doing these 360 deals where they're kind of cutting into artists' revenue on tours, merch, so T-shirts. Justin Bieber has a lip gloss. They get a hit off of that percentage and all these different things because they can't really compete with the digital component of it. And then you have ADD generation, because I know, we're middle-aged adults. If I'm going to go buy an album, I'm going to listen to the whole freaking album, not just a single. Now, yeah, we all have our favorite singles still from that track. There's not one kid. Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare.
What are you doing?
It's
not going to work. You were such a drummer.
Jeez, did I distract you guys that much? Holy hell.
Jameson, the official liquor of the Andrew Morse Band. Okay. Woo! So, kids today, all they're focused on is the singles. Singles this, single that, single that. They're not listening to the whole freaking album.
Not even to the whole song anymore.
But let me jump in there though, Rene. All right. So from an artist's perspective, I hear you. Right? You put out a full that has been the model for music for many years, decades of years. But there's as music fans ourselves and growing up and listening to bands, there are times when you're like, okay, that wasn't really that great of a song on this track. I bought the whole CD, tape, whatever you want to call it. And you're like, okay, maybe there's like two good songs out of this. So as a consumer, again, not talking streaming, but actually physical material that you may have purchased, have you ever felt maybe robbed or gypped? That's like, all right, I just paid my $20 for the CD, $10, whatever it is, whatever time frame you grew up. But you know what I mean?
I mean, sure, but I also think I would also go back to the argument that says, if you're the fan,
Okay,
you're willing to, because listen, I know for a fact if I find a band that, whether it's a couple singles or whatever that I like, and I'm like, oh shit, like that's fire. You got me hooked. I'm gonna find every one of your albums on Apple Music because I mean, let's face it, I'm not, and I am gonna download your whole fucking discography, and within the next subsequent weeks or months, I'm just gonna plop my fat ass down when I'm driving and listen to every album just to kind of get my thing. And there's been very few times where I've been dissatisfied. And yeah, and of course, you have that one album where the artist is either, trying to try something new or just do whatever, and you're just like, it's a little funky, whatever. But it's like, okay, but whatever, it's still them,
right.
So who cares? I think that kids are fans for sure. Like my stepdaughter, great kid. She will slit your throat if you say anything bad about Taylor Swift. And then she's probably still in love with Harry Styles, but but I have to give the kid props. Like, she will listen to the album, front to back. There are not a lot of kids like that, so you have that strong fan base. But I mean, that's the problem with Spotify. It's music for the ADD generation. Even though you do have the opportunity to listen to the whole album if you want, and then even further, going back to like I kind of started the argument before, the labels were just, I don't know, they were just either afraid or in disbelief that the CD was going to disappear.
So I wouldn't put it that way. I would because the way that I see it is like historically,
Yeah.
record labels really were just marketing funders. Like, they had the marketing channels, they had the funds, and they would pretty much market your stuff for a percentage.
Yeah, but
to bring that back to your point is that when you have a business, you're like, what we do works. We don't need to look at any other thing. Like, why are we going to... No, we've been doing this for 30 years, and it always works. Why do we have to worry about this other thing?
Agreed. But I also would say, though, and you could even go back further to even like the inception of modern day music as we know it. As crazy as it is, look at Elvis, Colonel What's His Face. If Colonel, I forget what his name is, Parker. Colonel Parker wasn't affiliated with Sun Studios like in any way. He was just a promoter, and he was the one who was getting all their stuff on radio play and all this stuff. But he was also securing tours, merch. Look at the Beatles. When Beatlemania hit, EMI, they were like, and even that's a whole nother soapbox to jump on too, because if you listen to interviews of Paul and Ringo Still Alive, they'll tell you, it's like, dude, we ripped off every black artist in the United States who was playing Muddy Waters blues and just put distortion to it, sped it up, and here we go, a couple limey Brits, and everyone's like, throwing panties at you and going mental because they were doing it, So, but again, you had the labels
bringing the soul in a palatable form.
Yeah. Or not, because if, you play blues, if you go back and you listen to some of those Delta blues guys, you're like, holy shit, like this is rock before it was ever rock, and it's incredible.
Right, because when we were in Memphis, and we did a little tour at Sun Studios.
Yeah.
We were in there. Have you ever been in the Sun Studios? Oh my God, you have to go.
And I would I would love to. It's on my
It
on my
is.
list.
There is in that room. There is a nexus of greatness.
I believe it.
The vibe, the energy.
And I don't know what to attribute it to. It's either the fact that all those artists that we know are Sun recorders put out such intense, amazing vibe that they're still coming out of the walls, or possibly both. It is a nexus. It is a connection to the nexus that all musicians draw from.
I agree. I agree. I'm a history teacher, so all that stuff like fascinates me. In fact, on Netflix, unless they took it down, there was a fantastic. Was it Netflix? It might have been Netflix or it might have been HBO Max, and I do apologize. It was a documentary on Little Richard.
Yeah, he had a lot to overcome.
Of all people, and I think that Little Richard had almost become kind of like lampooned because of just like his outrageous appearance and just like the woo and the makeup and being like openly gay and all that kind of crazy stuff, whatever. But when they really go back into his beginning, that guy shaped freaking rock and roll.
He did. He had a huge impact.
And he had tremendous music and all this stuff like that. And again, even him, he'll tell you, and I think that's the biggest thing.
We want to talk about Little Richard. I mean, like, think about it. When was that? The 50s? He's in black and white. So here we have
50s,
a black gay person
Yeah.
playing country and soul music in a place where, like, anybody who knows anything would just plain shoot him from a distance.
Yeah.
And he is making a mark on the music world that is intensely awesome.
Oh, and then the kind of like usurping or erasing the racial divide, because you had those juke joints in the South where they would play his stuff, and the white kids are like, well, our shit is fucking lame as balls, because the Beatles, or you just had Elvis kind of in that time. There was no Beatles yet. Mm-hmm. So they're going on the other side of the tracks to those juke joints to hang out and see where, all the sock shoe kind of, dances and whatnot. I mean, he revolutionized the culture.
So to come back to
Yeah.
this streaming topic here, like those names you just talked about, they're not impacted, right? So I think it's more of you think of the
No, they are impacted because
I agree.
the estates of these legacy artists are getting gypped just as much as any new artist did.
Well, and then even now in most recent years, so I mean, let's not even go as far back to say, those Delta Blues guys, or or like James Brown or whatever, but that's a whole nother one. James Brown is a different monster.
Yeah.
But let's look at Crosby, Stills, and Nash just sold their song catalog.
Mm-hmm. And that was one of our subjects we talked
Right.
about.
Last
selling
year.
catalog.
Because our generation knows them. The singer-songwriter, maybe younger generation knows them. But the average, 15 to 25-year-old is not, let me get the Crosby, Stills, and Nash's greatest hits on my Spotify playlist. Because they don't know. There's a whole history behind all that stuff that's lost. James Taylor sold his catalog, I think. Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan.
I'm not a huge Dylan fan, so sorry. I know that's
one of the most prolific songwriters in
Agreed.
United States history.
You have, I think, Billy Joel is in the works of kind of coming to some settlement agreement now with his catalog. But again, why though? Because from the business side, they understand that they can garner some serious cheese by selling that catalog. Hopefully, whoever is their financial representative and attorney is still including royalty.
I totally get it because, like, I'm alive. I've created a legacy that will pay out X amount of thousands of dollars every month for all of the future human kind. Like, why do I want to give that to? I don't got any kids. Like, I'll just keep it for like. I'll just sell it and buy a house.
Well, and then the kicker too is with the avant-garde of software technology and all this stuff,
Yeah, take it before they're going to steal it
Once
with
you-
AI,
once
right?
you
Is that what you're saying?
No, well that, but I'm saying like there's a crap ton of known artists who established the brand, the sound, and are like, yo, I want to do a new album, but fucking, I'm not going to go to the label to do it because I can just go hire Dino, who knows how to work Pro Tools or do whatever, and
Good job, Dino.
I'm going to freaking record it in my garage. Okay, well, the label's still going to back them to a certain degree. Why? Because they've made a piss ton of freaking money off the single with it. But now you got that negotiating power where you're like, nah, you're not going to hit me for this. You're not going to hit me for that. You're going to go ahead and you're going to promote my shit, and I'm going to keep my money my way. You're not going to hit my tour revenues. You're not going to hit my merch. Thanks, because I've already proven to you that
I'm going to keep my publishing.
yeah, I'm keeping my publishing-ish, because if the labels are going to do, there's still that gray area, whatever. I mean, and as much as not to, I like her, The Kid Will Kill Me, the last two albums, every fucking song sounded the exact same thing. But if there's someone in the music industry right now that artists have to kind of look at with some kind of respect, not reverence, is Taylor Swift. Because, when she went back to try to get her original rights of all of her masters with whatever was the initial company and that blah, 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 he sold all the shit. Well, she was like, well, fuck you. I still got 50% of the legal rights of them damn songs, so I'm going to re-record them motherfuckers all on myself and keep 100% of the profits.
Yeah, she did that in order to keep her mechanical rights.
And
her
everybody, every
publishing.
kid, my kid included, they stopped listening to the original ones and we're all onto the new re-release stuff to whatever she's negotiated now for her current material.
So it's and again it's I think so. Yes, some people hate. Go ahead.
I was going to interrupt you with a thought, but you have something important to say. So
Well, thank you, Mr. McLaughlin.
we'll see.
But yeah, but I think that's the thing about Taylor Swift, right? Is a lot of people love her or hate her, but I don't think they kind of do they genuinely think that those that hate that she's being genuine about the things she does, because I think she does care about standing up for people or pushing back to Spotify, and one of the biggest artists, right?
Well, I mean, dude,
Or
not to cut you off,
yeah,
you got to remember back 5, maybe 10 years ago when Apple Music came out, they put her shit online on their platforms,
solely.
and they were jipping in the rate that they were paying the artists and royalties. And what did she do? She had her entire catalog yanked right off the thing. So she has that pull that Apple then had to kind of reevaluate their payout.
How
Apple,
cool is that to be an artist that is so popular
that
Say fuck
that
you.
you've impacted the bottom line of a entire
iTunes had to reevaluate what their royalty percentage was going to be, and I think Apple Music is paying more than what Spotify.
So is Taylor Swift available on Spotify?
That I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah.
We're gonna
So that
we're gonna check here.
Why did she
She's
not?
on. I don't know. I mean, but Spotify's kind of interesting though too, and even in how he got that whole thing set up. The guy was brilliant. A Swiss or
a North European
programmer, hacker kind of guy.
But that's
who-
Norwegian thing.
But that's an interesting. Like I have Spotify the app. I don't have a paid subscription to it. I just pay for the free one and so forth. So the skips,
So you get commercials and stuff.
yeah, right. So which is fine. Again, I've learned to live it. I mean, I pay for Sirius and I still get commercials, which is okay.
No, it's not okay.
Well,
There should be no commercials ever.
well, if you're paid for it, yeah, should be never any commercials. But that's how Sirius originally was pitched, was some of that stuff, right?
Right.
But
By the way, if you want to purchase a commercial on our show,
yeah, hit us
ahead
up.
and give us some money.
Yes. I do pay for the Apple subscription because a lot of the times when I was learning music, it was very easy to play that and set that up
Yeah.
through songs, and I can download, listen, whatever, stream, whatever I want it versus Spotify. Because now, let me back up though, is because you're right. It's interesting how the last 20 years, digital music has transformed in every form or fashion.
This is my theory. This is what I wanted to say. Since the 60s, since the inception of live music at all, musicians have been getting paid less every single year.
Agreed.
Since the beginning of music distribution in recorded form, musicians have been getting paid less every year. And here is why, in my opinion. Because we're artists. We believe the world is a wonderful place. We think everything is good, and it is all good. But when it comes time to make a contract with a business person, a live venue owner, a restaurant owner, who is the deepest kind of shark ever available, and then sign a contract with a record company who makes those restaurant-owning sharks look like, minnows, we are at a disadvantage, and we get taken advantage of in very famous ways.
Right. But I also think, though, too, and so my rationale for going back to school to educating myself on the business side was not from the perspective of I want to be like a big time business mogul tycoon. If I can do music full time and make my existing salary or more, or find a band, or hope that Andrew Morris band gets picked up to tour, even corporate, or just do opening acts or whatever. We don't need to be the big marquee headlining, artist performing. I'm on it. But if you start to really look at those interviews, going back to what you're saying, there's not one made artist that's out there now that has gone through the slings and arrows of shit deals and getting the shaft that would not say, fuck, man, if I just turned a blind eye to the business side of music and just thought everything was sunshine and roses and I'm creating, and I didn't realize that they were bending me over every freaking 5 seconds without even lube and fucking me something fierce. And I mean, yeah, but even when I was with Loch Ness Monster, we were approached by a label, small label, nothing major or whatever, that was kind of starting out. And it was a 360 deal. And we kind of were like, okay, fine. You kind of got to get your feet wet some way. You can't be that.
As long as it's not an exclusive agreement.
Yeah. And you can, and listen.
It's a good thing someone in your band was a lawyer.
Yeah. But this was before Brad.
Oh, any lawyer would say, no, don't do this.
Yeah, this was before Brad.
Any
even
deal you get in
joined.
the music industry, a lawyer will tell you, don't even think about something like that. Yeah.
The contract that they wanted, the term of the contract was a 360, 6.5 year term for the contract. And again, thanks to me, my know-how from Full Sail and knowing how to read contracts and the tort aspect of it, I was like, dude, 6.5 years is that's not even the industry standard. That's an excess. We can talk maybe 2.5, 3 as a starting out, and then see what's going on and renegotiate. They didn't like that, and so
hence their
intentions
sign were revealed.
Yeah, but who they're shafting, and then they're not putting out a full album. They're putting out singles and singles,
right?
And then that's also kind of where the shift is from the music side of it as well. And the digital age of everything is, when you can go back even to the early 2000s, before YouTube and everything kind of started taking over, you still had artist relations departments and labels. Today, it's one nerd sitting behind a fucking computer looking at TikTok algorithms as to how many videos you got.
I have to say something at this point, because as in multiple business arenas, my expertise is in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a part of the problem is the fact that, I made an album. Let's talk about me.
Yeah.
I made an album. It's a thing. I got a thing. I need to sell my thing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sell that? Well, you got to put out enough commercials to make sure everybody knows about it. Like, duh. Like, that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and and that's also kind of the element where you have Facebook, where you can pay X amount of dollars to do advertising or do whatever. Like CD Baby, I think at a certain
CD Baby is who I work with. They're great.
they're fantastic.
DistroKid, like all of them.
All those
they're
DistroKid.
great.
So they
act as your publisher. They make it go
100%. So there's avenues. Are there a lot of there's artists who probably know about it? Do they take that component seriously? Many yes, many no. It's kind of like 50-50,
No, I'm going towards a point, and what my point is I would really like for artists like me and you and you and you to look at ourselves like we look at other content providers. Like, imagine you're a ShamWow and you got Vince promoting you on TV. Like, you're the music that it took your entire life to compose, and you went through that experience and you created a thing. You in the marketing world, your value as no more than a fucking ShamWow.
Yeah, no, and you're right, and that's one of the things too that I am grateful with Andrew and kind of joining, and since I've joined, I've kind of taken on some of the marketing aspect of like show dates and blah 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 blah, and doing like some of the graphics or whatever. Like the logo of the Crazy Bird thing, like I designed.
Wait. You, Mr. Afraid of Birds, designed the bird
There's
logo.
a deeper meaning here.
I
That's
did.
really what it is.
You have a crazy craziness to you.
I'm a wackadoodle.
You seriously are.
So, hey, did you know, actually, really big segment here, Kevin, is Rene actually was the designer of our original Drums and Rums logo.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Well, and the drums and this is the thing that I'm saying. Like, your artistry in designing logos is great. Like, what we're doing is fucking great. But like, if you're an artist and you spent your entire life making a thing, but we think of Vince, the ShamWow guy. He's in fucking jail. ShamWows are bullshit. I guarantee you, your song hasn't sold as many as the ShamWow sold.
Right.
Like, get your shit in perspective is what I'm trying to say.
100%. But I also think it's a cultural perspective too, because if that was the case, like, how many restaurants have you played or venues have you played in this? And you're like, yo, my rate is $3,000 for the whole band. Oh, well, that's too expensive. Well, what can you pay? Well, $1,200. And you either say, no, fuck it. Like, I know what my worth is. I'm out. Deuces, bitches. Or the others who are like, but I kind of need the work and I'm trying to make this a career and I'll do it. So they kind of have this ridiculous DJ mentality of like, oh, we got a band coming in, but we'll pay them like the freaking DJ rate.
Oh, DJs make more than bands at this point.
Right, at this point, for sure. So there's this, there needs to be a dynamic shift and an appreciation. I know we're getting close on time. There also needs to be a greater appreciation for the execution of the live band or the live performer who's good. And that's not throwing shade on that kid who's just starting out, because, dude, the only way you're going to get better is you got to play out. And I have hard times when I go out, sometimes when I hear that band, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't play guitar, but I have a good ear for tones. So it's just like, Jesus Christ, like every song is the same chord progression, like, and you're strumming. Like, can you figure out your resolve, dude?
Yeah, but you know what?
But he's doing it.
He's got a job.
He's doing it.
He's marketed himself.
And you got to give them respect. And for those people who are like talking
Somebody's
shit,
paying for it.
Yeah, you got to be like, yo,
it's not about quality. It's not about quality.
And dude, I've been to some
top 40
I've been to some joints where the kid is like bombing and people are being dicks, and I'm like, fucker, get up there and you do it. Like, you have no idea how much balls it takes for that kid to get up there. My best friend, he did an open mic night for comedy, and after he got out, he was like, I have never been so terrified in my life. And he knows what I do, like playing, in music or whatever. He was like, how do you get up in front of people and do what you do. Because people don't understand, like, there's a vulnerability. You fuck up, you fuck up. What makes you different from the average Joe to the pro is, like, how good can you fake the fuck up or be confident enough in your fuck up where no one's going to be like,
Right.
oh, they fucked up. Or even if you do fuck up and it's a major train wreck, you're like, yo, that's part of the party and people are still on, with you. And you get it right the next time,
I've recently come up with a philosophy. It's very recent, and I believe you'll agree with me, is that the only difference between an amateur and a professional is that the professional does all the janky shit that looks like an idiot when no one's looking.
Agreed. And if I'm honest, that's how I've made my career as a drummer. Because you fake it till you make it, or you
just do the janky shit when no one's looking, so that you can do it again when people are looking, and now you're good.
You still got to be proficient to a degree, but if you can pull the wheelhouse out of your ass somehow to keep the gig, that's what's going to keep you busy.
That's where true artistry comes from.
Yeah.
That's where true talent is.
Agreed.
When you are thrown off the cliff and you got no idea what's going on and you nail the gig, that is true talent.
100%.
All right, Rene. So definitely great conversation here. About obviously hitting some good points here, sensitive points. And to kind of give perspective for those that are not musicians or that understand. There's a lot that goes into. Hey, we talked about it in the last episodes there with Brian and Jeff.
Well, in here,
AI,
not to cut you off, though, and I'm sorry, and I guess this might be, I know that you guys said, have your shout-outs, but here's my one shout-out.
All right, so is this your MVP you're giving?
The official shout-out. We need
I'm going to give an MVP, and then I'm going to give my, 2 cents after my MVP. If I can, I'll make it.
So here, Renee's going to give his MVP, or House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits MVP of the week here. Rene, who's your MVP of this week?
I got 2 real quick. My one MVP is Samantha Russell and the Samantha Russell Band. Great.
Awesome.
Great lady.
Performer.
I've subbed for her a couple times because I know her,
played with Samantha
drummer.
Russell. She's great.
She's amazing. And then my buddy R.J. Preston. He's kind of a solo guy, singer-songwriter, does his own thing, not with a band. Great kid. He's a huge, huge fan and supporter of the Andrew Morris Band. But those are my 2 MVPs. And then my last 2 cents is if people really want to make musicians feel love, I don't care if he's a new kid or not, or he's a seasoned guys like myself, like Kevin, like Paul, go out there and support your freaking local venues left and right. And put $1, put $10 in the freaking tip jar. Know that those guys got there 2 hours before you came to have your drink and your burger, to set up and play some quality music. And if those guys are fire and they're freaking on point, those are professionals through and through, and they deserve the love, respect, and your admiration for it, because we're out there trying to keep you entertained as often as possible. And to those venues, likewise, pay those guys who you know at the rate where their expertise is demonstrated. If they're the newbies, sure, a couple $100 here, but if they're those guys who are killing it left and right, pay them what they do, man, because those guys we're working hard for you. We're working hard to bring you revenue, to keep your guests there drinking, eating, or doing whatever it is too. So anyway, I'll just step off my soapbox. That's all I got to say about that. Sorry.
Well, so
I'm Rene Rivera, and I support this message.
Rene Rivera,
for president.
Well said.
Write him in.
I agree. I agree 100%.
I think that there needs to be a cultural shift, not just, and even if it's a cover band, man, because like in today's market, there's so many tribute bands or groups trying to promote themselves as tribute bands, which are great. And that's very complicated because you're trying to emulate note for note, break for break, stop for stop what that, iconic artist had done. Dude, take care of those guys. Freaking pay those guys what they're worth, because they're deserving of it.
And it's interesting. We definitely, that could be a whole separate another topic we need to save for is talking about.
Well, before we go on to that, I would just want to just say, people who come to a show that was done well,
right?
They're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I never believed it could be like this. And supporting live music means nothing more than tune into that live stream.
Yeah.
Show up at the show. Like, go eat
Show up
dinner.
at the show, find their
Like,
socials.
what do you want to do? You want to, like, order a pizza and sit at the house? Or
Yeah.
do you want to go out and have that same pizza in
Find
front
their
of a band that's going to change your life?
Just don't click interested and not show up.
Find their socials. If they put out a video or a show flyer, share that show flyer. You know, if they have stuff that's streaming on Spotify or whatever, like it. If you're tech savvy, throw it on your story where you can find it. Like, show the love to the people who are locally doing what's right, bringing art and community. And that's the beauty of music,
Right.
is that it brings forth a community. Nobody cares your political view, your religious view, your ideology. It's something that unifies all of society collectively, and we should be more intentional about showing support for those people who are around locally doing that for us.
That's I think very well said there. To wrap it up here, Renee. Again, it goes back to, this is all support. Do something before the music goes away to what you know it as. We talked a little bit about Jeff and Brian about that last week. Was, do you want the AI to take over? But at the end of the day, somebody still, if you want to go see live music, somebody still has to perform it. Do you want it to be a DJ, or do you want to be? It's like in The Wedding Singer. They were checking out bands or a DJ, right? Yeah. So Renee, thanks for coming on here. So definitely great conversation. We dug really into some deep stuff here about streaming and Spotify and what kind of artist today is really making, right?
Yeah, and the same thing goes for you guys too, as podcast, personalities and hosts, man.
Thank you.
Paul and Kevin. I know I just had the pleasure of meeting Kevin last week, but I've known Paul for a long time, and I've been very, very grateful to know him and what he does. So if you like what they're doing, or if there's any of you guys who are following, do the same for Paul and Kevin, man. Promote the living hell out of riffs and rhythms. Promote the living hell out of drums and rums. If you're listening to the podcast or you're checking out their YouTube page and stuff like that, subscribe and freaking put that shit out there on your freaking socials and let everybody know, because they're just as equally as deserving as any other artist is out there fucking playing at a bar doing what they're doing. Because they're working long hours to, edit and do whatever they have to do for this program as well.
He's hired.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, man.
It's just just touch your thumb to the screen a couple more times. You could share this to everybody.
Listen, you could either sit there and watch the same fucking video of the farting cat for 9 goddamn hours.
Wait. What?
There's a farting cat.
It's amazing. I'll send it to you later.
No,
All right, perfect. We're putting it right in there.
Or listen. There's been times where I've sat back and on long rides, I'll sit back and I'll tune into whatever Paul's done and whatever Paul and Kevin are doing now here, and it's good stuff. They get some great people, and they're clearly moving up and getting some killer artists both locally and. What the hell was that?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Yeah, so
this is hilarious.
Yes.
I gotta point this out. You can't see the whole picture.
Yeah.
But here we have Renee is giving a heartfelt testimonial about how important art is. And our producer is over here trying to keep his mouth away from the microphone while he yawns.
Oh, that's what that was?
Was that the sound?
Actually, it's been muted.
Oh, no, we heard you. Even with the headphones on, I could hear you yawning.
Was it something outside? Because we usually do have odd sounds with the tow truck.
No. I saw it.
Oh, that's class.
I saw you yawning during the most epic part of our testimonial. You're fired.
So on that note,
Thanks for All right. Anyway,
We're gonna cut your pay in half, Dino.
Look, man,
we just gave him a raise last episode.
I know we gave him a raise. We're gonna bring it
taking
back
money away.
back to his original pay.
If I took up more time than needed, I just want to apologize. But I'm grateful and honored to have been here again. I'm grateful to just be friends with Paul and know him, and now also Kevin. So fucking like their goddamn podcast and fucking share all the shit about it because they're great guys. That's all I gotta say.
Man, well said. We don't even need to do any plugs now because Renee did it for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How about we plug Renee? Everything that
Yes.
Renee does, you need to go get on there. Everything that he's doing.
So real quick, Renee, where are you guys playing? Close to the end of April here, beginning of May. Real quick.
So this weekend you can find the Andrew Morris Band. There's a duo playing down at the Pompano Seafood Festival, and then the trio, which will be comprised of Andrew, Mike, and Steve Siciliano, the guitar player. They'll be at Patty Mac's. Let me just check my calendar real quick. So that's what's going on there. The 24th, the 25th, we're kind of excited about this one. If you are a local Jupiter folks, we are playing an Uncle Mick's.
Yeah.
It has been years since we had played there.
When is that?
So this is Thursday, April 25th,
Okay.
8:30 to midnight. And then Andrew is
Thursday.
playing the 30th. But if you jump on our Facebook page and kind of, either like and follow there, you can see all of the dates and stuff. I kind of, like I said before, I've recently been afforded the blessing to do all of the kind of like the marketing and promotion of like events and things like that for any kind of shows that we've got going on there. So just check us out there. You could see, we have some residencies, standing residencies at Square Grouper here in Jupiter, where we perform twice a month, Wednesday night, so midweek. And then we also have standing residencies at Patty Mac's down in Palm Beach Gardens. We play the first Friday of every month there, and then like the second or third Saturday down over there from 9 to midnight. And it's a great place, man. Hugh, shout out to Hugh and his guys over there at Patty Mac's. Hugh's just a stand-up cat, man. Great guy. From Ireland, 90% of the whole staff are Irish from Ireland. I don't know if they're like
Sweet.
Where
Where is this place? I gotta go.
Patty, you haven't been to Patty Mac's?
Never been to Patty Mac's.
Holy shit, dude!
It's military and PGA.
You would need, yeah.
It's a great, great spot.
Hey, maybe we need to go there after the show.
There you go. And the
I'm
vibe.
surprised you haven't even played there yet,
I've
man.
never been
is-
to Patty Mac's.
The vibe is mad cool, and dude, they get some rowdy folks up in there. So we have
As they should.
We have a really great time.
Goddamn Irish people.
So yeah, and then just kind of keep tabs and see what we got going on. We got some other big things kind of coming up. June 21st and the 22nd, like I said last week, we'll be at Raincat. Recording our
Very cool.
original tunes, Disappear. And I think Andrew has another one that's kind of like Civil War based theme ideology kind of deal.
Hey, Rene, just real quick there. Did you guys play last year Sunfest?
No, we didn't play Sunfest. Last year, our big to do, which we've been kind of a recurring kind of artist. Well, I shouldn't say. Well, not this year. It was last year. March was the Rib Roundup, the 103.1 New
Right.
Country Rib Roundup.
Nice.
If you go on my Facebook page, or if you go to the not Facebook page, I'm sorry, YouTube page, or if you go to the band's website, you could see some of the footage there. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like we fucking killed it. Like we pretty much had everyone out from wherever they were, just there. We were at the Tiki 52 stage on the east end of the actual amphitheater. They had a stage there out there before like the main stage where everyone goes up towards the lawn. And it was like, as far as the eye could see, people just having a great old time.
That's awesome.
And we were very, and that was like when I was still
Just starting out,
the
early.
Greenhorn,
Yeah.
the new guy with the band. But man, I don't know, the stars aligned and we were tight as hell. And that was an interesting day because it was a threefer.
Yeah.
We played at some event down in Delray.
Ooh.
Went straight there to the Rib Roundup and played our 45-minute set there. And we were so good, they were like, no, we give you 15 more minutes to play longer. So we played even longer. And then as soon as we got done with that, we had to strip everything down and go to a freaking private event at an RV park up in West Palm Beach. So it was a busy day, but man, it was a good day. We didn't get a chance to play the Rib Roundup this year, but for the guys who are listening for 103.1, you better make sure we're on the freaking thing next year.
Hey, but real seriously though, is the Tortuga Fest was recently right down in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
It's mostly a country thing, and I don't know if you know this, but it has not even dropped this, so there's a little bit of a sneak peek here. So again, if you listen to Drums and Rums, folks, is I interviewed Jason Aldean's drummer.
Shut up.
Yep, Rich Redmond.
I love him.
So maybe there's a way
He's
to
one of my
kinda-
favorite. He's one of my
Maybe there's a
favorites.
way Andrew Morsepan can get on that bill next year. Maybe.
I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love to. It'd be a good time.
We'll see what can Brown do for you. So
see.
anyway, so yes, thank you, Rene, for coming on the podcast here. So we're getting the old, hey, we need to start wrapping up because Kevin and mine's glasses are a little
Oh,
empty.
we forgot the hilarious bits.
We started off the hilarious
Yeah, I'm
bits.
pretty sure
did we?
we've
We
covered
have
all of
We
that.
have hilarious
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah, we did.
I'll show you my hilarious bits later. Okay, how about that?
And I'm sure I'll be laughing. That's for sure. And we plugged our socials, and we
Renee plugged it for us, so I think we're good then,
we
right?
did everything. All right,
Make sure you
checklist
follow-
off.
Make sure you follow Riffs and Rhythms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, click the link below and hit the bell and subscribe.
Subscribe to
Ding,
their
ding,
YouTube
ding, ding, ding,
channel,
ding, ding.
And
We
if
still don't have a bell
What's
yet.
the button
We
for
have,
the
we have
subscribe?
an alarm, but like it's
if
not
they
the
have
same.
the TikTok, make sure that you follow them on the TikTok as well.
We have a TikToking.
They're-
Don't forget to follow Only Kevin's fan page there. So yes, the He Doesn't Know I created for him.
Yeah, it's called I'm Not Going to Give You Anything for My Money.com.
and
No, but seriously though, we did start a Patreon page. So again,
Oh, we did. We have a Patreon
Yes.
page.
Yeah, so there's 3 levels there. So again, you want to be a Band-Aid, right, or a front row or backstage there. We get different levels there, so check it out.
Is there an adult level?
What do you mean?
Just a question.
Is that where you have to like submit the coloring paper to prove that you colored in between the lines?
I don't
It's
quite.
we've got a Band-Aid level. And
Yeah,
what is
well,
the
no,
level? What are
Band-Aid
the
le-
levels? Now we've got Patreon, right?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, and so what are the levels of subscription on
Okay,
Patreon?
so you're a Band-Aid. It's kind of like that movie, Almost Famous.
Yes.
Remember, they referred to the
Yep.
groupies and
Yep.
people as Band-Aids.
Yep.
Okay.
Right? So you're one of our groupies, which would be cool, right?
Okay.
It comes with benefits, friends with benefits. Front row, right? So you're hanging out in the front row.
Is the Friends with Benefits thing a reference back to the Mudbog bitches?
No, it
So
wasn't.
there's no benefit involved in that.
There was no benefit. And then also the backstage. So you get different things at each levels there. So I've been dropping some of these episodes here early. So if you are
Oh, so you get early access to
that's
the
correct.
cool stuff.
That's correct. That's
You
correct.
could know
So-
about all this great things
That's
before
right.
any
It's
of
like
your
OnlyFans
friends.
for
That's right.
musicians.
Yes, so but I mean, look, there's also free too if you want to subscribe on there. That's great and all too. But again, it's not a whole lot. $5 I think as if you be a Band-Aid to help. us.
Easy.
Yeah. Again, so we can pay Dino and then
Cheaper than one coffee.
and take
it's-
money away from them. Let them have vacation down in Key West and so
Yeah,
forth.
get bitten by the fucking tarpon.
So we're all
Yeah,
totally. So
and
again, if you want to support the show,
Make sure that if you're around up in Port St. Lucie this weekend, that you go check out Kevin's single release friggin' party that's going down. Where at, Senor, again?
It is at Hop Life Brewing.
There you go.
on Enterprise Road in Port St. Lucie.
Make it happen, yo. Again, he's a local artist who's got some clout, man. So go out there and show some love to our boy Kevin, man.
Oh, thank you, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
So April 20th there. So check that out there. So all right. So we done. I think we
Are we
plugged
done?
everything. Yeah.
Is this-
I hope.
I think
I
we've
hope
beaten
we are.
this
yeah.
horse as dead as it'll get.
Yeah, for sure. So. All right. So again, guys, thank you for tuning into the podcast here. This guy is
I'm Kevin McLaughlin, and this is
the Riffs, and he is the.
Rhythm.
I'm the Riffs. What?
I think
Wait,
there's
There was somebody.
Hold on a minute.
Somebody jumped on mic
I
there.
think we need to do that again.
All right. Anyway, so you started off, man. As a
Oh my gosh!
God,
Do I
how
have to
long
do
have we
every
been doing this
time?
now? By the way, wait. Before
You're
you
just
before
pure,
you
like,
before-
What
emotion.
instrument do you play again?
no, before we land this plane here, this is episode 30.
I think we need
31.
some foam on the runway before we
31.
start to land this
This is
plane.
episode 31.
Bravo.
What?
This is episode 31, bro.
We've had to deal with this 31 times in a
Yeah,
row.
so we still can't get this shit
Oh my
right. So,
God.
anyways,
That deserves a shot.
He's such a drummer.
So anyway-
I can do it.
go for it.
Hey, this is Kevin McLaughlin, and this is the Riffs End.
Rhythms Podcast. I'm Paul Robertson. So, thank you for tuning in tonight there. Cheers, motherfuckers.
Ah!